events that we host. The Dolphins Stadium is zoned for what they do, right? But in order for them to get to the stadium, they have to come through this community, right? So the Dolphins has been a very good partner in the city, and I won't even lie to you. There are things that we've asked them to do, and they've been more than willing to do it. We put up several roofs right here in this community. We went to them. We had a community service project where they actually put the roofs on these houses that needed it. So there are very few times that we have not went to them, and they have not obliged us on what we were accommodating or trying to do. They were very accommodating to make sure we were able to do that. So this meeting today, and Dr. Powell will get into that, is we don't know your experience, right? Because some of us don't live on that side. I live on the 441 side. So I do know that coming out of my community, which we only have 2 entrances on this street, I know what I experienced. But hearing what you experienced, Dr. Powell can take that information back to the mayor. So when the mayor is having his meeting, and for planning purposes, we can, the city can maneuver through that. I'll give you just one example. We created a local traffic access pass. And because we didn't have anything on the books in the city of Miami Gardens officially, the sheriff was able to come in and say, well, we're not gonna honor those traffic passes, right? But had we had an ordinance or something on the books in regards to our local traffic pass, and that has nothing to do with Dolphins, that's the sheriff. The sheriff came in and they changed the rules. So this is something that we can do, take this knowledge, the information, and we can formulate something so that the city can put that on the books to protect the residents of Miami Gardens as these events come to the city. So again, thank you for coming out.
Thank you so much. And before we go any further, I just want us to acknowledge Councilman Reggie Leon has served 8 years. Yeah. 8 years, everybody. That is no joke. And unfortunately, he cannot serve anymore as a councilman. And we're just grateful and thankful for the service that you have done for the great city of Miami Gardens. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. We're so grateful for you all. I'm just going to introduce our wonderful, sitting right in front of us, Elise Carrion, with a lot of hats. Let me just say, she's a clinical researcher at the University of Miami, district deputy for Eastern Star, State of Phi Beta, volunteer, teaches line dancing right here at Senior Family Center. And we are so grateful for her because she will be opening with prayers for tonight. Awesome. Thank you. Awesome.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We want to give honor to God for waking up us this morning. But we also want to be thankful for everyone that's in this room. Everyone that's in this room, you're all could have been somewhere else. But we want to first give prayers for this town hall meeting. Because we want unity. We want peace. We want harmony. Because we know that everyone is in here today have something on their mind that they want to say, but we want to do it with love. Because everything we do with love. So can everyone stand with me for prayer? And those that are able to stand. If you're not able to stand, God is with us here to the right. Amen. Amen. Father God, I thank you. I thank you for allowing us to see this day. Because some of us did not wake up today to see this day. So we really want to thank you. We want to thank you for the awakening. We want to thank you for everyone that's sitting next to us. We want to thank you for all the councilmen, all the dignitaries that's in here. We want to thank you for Dr. Powell, our councilwoman. We want to thank you, Lord, for just letting us be you all by yourself, giving praise and honor to you. Father God, we want to just continue thanking you and worshiping your name. Lord God, we want to make sure this town hall meeting, we have knowledge, make sure the questions that are being asked tonight, that they'll be acceptable in your sight. Lord God, we just want to bring peace and harmony tonight. May the answers be answered. May the knowledge be given. And we just want to thank everybody in the name that love of Jesus Christ. Say amen.
Amen.
And thank you again for coming. In your name, say amen.
Leonard? So before we get started, everyone that walked in today received a card.
Yes.
Right? You received a card. And so, if you don't know my amazing legal analyst, Leonard Torres, raise your hand, lady in pink. Just go walk through the form card so that we're all on the same page as we start this great meeting.
Okay. So, this is the greatest part, right, where we have to get rules together.
Yes.
So, for the decorum and the rules of decorum, let's look at number 1 first. To ensure everyone has an opportunity to be heard and the meeting remains respectful and productive, please follow these simple rules. Very simple. Respect everyone. Treat all resident speakers, elected officials, and staff with courtesy, even when you disagree. We love disagreeing, right? But we can love it too. It's fine. We can disagree. One person speaks. So one person speaks at a time. It's a maximum of 3 minutes. I do have the clicker. Please do not interrupt, shout over, or speak while another person has the floor. Comments. Keep comments brief and on the current topic. Stay focused on the issue and adhere to the time allowed for comments. No personal attacks, please. No personal attacks or disruptive behavior. Disagreement is welcome. Insults, threats, profanity directed at others, including yelling or intentionally disrupting the meeting, are not permissible. And the offender will be removed from the meeting. Everyone participates. Allow everyone an opportunity to participate. Be mindful that your neighbors also deserve a chance to ask questions, express concerns, and share ideas. When all who wish to speak have had their turn, then a second opportunity to speak will be given to a prior speaker if time permits. Our goal: respectful conversation, community participation, and solutions. Any questions about that? It's really clear, right? And you can see, I will be putting it back if we need to, so that we can remind you, even though you have the card in your hands. But please make sure that you look through it, you read it, and if you need to speak to me, I will be on your side. And just go and talk, I don't mind, just ask me, and I'll be there for you guys, okay? Thank you, let's have a great night today. All right.
Thank you so much. Well, I must say, I am just so happy with the turnout today. The reason we're having this town hall meeting is because you asked for it.
Yes.
You asked. And scripture says, if you ask, you shall receive. Sometimes you have to keep asking, and that's all right too. You know? So we're having this meeting, and I'm excited to host a meeting for my residents. And I say my residents because even though my residential seat is 3, Miami Gardens is my city. And everyone, wherever you are my people. So regardless of where my seat is, Miami Gardens is my home. So with that being said, if you are not a person who likes speaking, feel free to take a card and write your concerns on the card. One of our volunteers will take the card from you and I will read your question. So don't feel you have to go to a mic. There are 2 mics. And I know some people think their voice is strong enough and they don't need a mic. For tonight, humor me.
Thank you.
And use the mic. Okay? And the second girls can use the mic behind. Now, my volunteer room, they have 2 folders. The yellow means you have 1 minute left. Every person will get 3 minutes. Once you see the red folder go up, what do you mean that means? Time's up. Part, that part. So, we are here to hear, we're here to listen. My role is to hear, listen, get as much information that you as residents want to give, suggestions and ideas, take those back to the administration, to the executive, and to the representatives. Our mayor and our manager speaks with the Dolphins traders, and then we will go from there. So, with that said, has everyone had an opportunity to look at the proposal?
No.
You looked at the proposal?
I gotta hear
Okay, so a couple people. Okay. For those who have not, let me give you a brief overview, just so that we're all on the same of what this meeting is about. So back on July 22nd, Council Reggie proposed a resolution of the City Council of the City of Miami Gardens, Florida, establishing the Miami Gardens Residents First policy, providing the city's policy for the planning, coordination, and negotiation of agreements relating to events held at Hard Rock Stadium, providing for instructions to the city manager, and providing for the adoption of representation, providing for an effective date. In summary, this proposal seeks to cover a few areas. Now, since this meeting, I've also found out through many different conversations that a couple things already are in place. And some of the major things that this document wishes to govern is resident access. Okay, access to roadway, right? Another thing is to traffic management, right? Neighborhood public safety is incorporated. Participation in event planning and resident access and checkpoints. So those are just some of the things, including residents' communication, intergovernmental coordination, and also assistance in implementation, where the residents are involved in this process. So when you do have time, you can go to July 22nd, and if you do come up with additional thoughts after this meeting, if someone has not said something that you think might be important to be part of the conversation, feel free to send an email to my office, and I'll review it, and we'll be responding in kind back to you. Okay? So, let's begin. Each person has 3 minutes. Who wants to be first? Yes, ma'am. When you go to the mic, I don't need your address, I don't need your zip code, just a name would be nice so that I don't mispronounce or have your information written down appropriately.
I didn't get a chance to read the proposal, but I had already prepared something. My name is Dorothy J. Morrison, and I am the president of the North County Citizens Association, the sign here. It is my organization who is responsible for the renovation of the wall on 27th Avenue, that unsightly wall. My organization, we fought City Hall for many years, and we finally got it done. I'd like to commend Dr. Powell for being vigilant about what's going on in our community. I feel like you are one of the few adults that sit up there with the council people. You're not afraid to stand up, you're not afraid to speak out. Right now, I have done some things on my own as president of this organization. I'm waiting to hear from the Miami Times, the Miami Herald, and Sasha Jones from Channel 6 because the residents are livid about what goes on in the city. It's a lot of money that goes through those streets, and we are the only ones who have not benefited from it. So I want to tell you, Dr. Powell, I pledge my support to you.
Amen.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Feel free to go to the mic there too. And if anyone needs a card, don't be shy. This is our big town hall. Let's do it.
Why you can't speak out?
It's gonna be a short meeting. We're gonna rush their mics. we can just go have the wonderful pastries, lemonade, nice tea in the back. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, my name is Alicia Carter. I can't hear you.
Come closer. Go closer to the mic. Go closer.
My name is Alicia Carter.
It's fine.
It's for the mic.
Hi. Can you hear me now? My name is Alicia Carter, and my concern is, I live right on Front Street, right on 199. And years back, they implemented the traffic lights that's supposed to go all one way after the event. For some reason, they work when they use them, but for some reason, they have stopped. And it creates total chaos. And it's like, we're forgotten. They don't turn them on, so traffic lingers when it shouldn't. It should flow like it did. In 30 minutes, 45 minutes, everything was clear. Now, it may be 45 minutes just to get around the corner. And that needs to be addressed. And also, the access. I shouldn't have to, if I'm coming home, I shouldn't have to go to 183rd to come all the way around to come back here, even though I have that thing, but they're not allowing me in. So that's a problem.
I have one question for you. When the lights were working, it is my understanding that traffic cleared out quickly.
Yes,
Okay, excellent.
because all of them will go one way. You have all.
So we got a win
And
with
the
the
police
lights.
would stand at the cross streets like 12th Avenue, 14th, or whatever. So everybody went one way. And it was clear. Now it's crazy.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make a statement on what she was saying, and I do remember that. I'm State Representative Felicia Robinson, and I just came so I could hear if there's anything at the state level that I could do, that I could, help out. But what I would say is, it sounds like we may need to have a meeting, whether it's the council or the community, with our new sheriff. Because they control the traffic during the events at the station. So it's not Miami Gardens Police that actually gets to say how that traffic flows. And so that conversation needs to go there. We need to invite them in and have that conversation so they can understand. And then the other thing I was saying, when it comes to the access and those cars, whatever, as you heard, they decided not to recognize it. So, but what I would say is that may be able to be addressed if legislation comes up, putting in our ordinance. So everything has to be done lawfully. And so we would probably have to make sure it's actually an ordinance, not just a policy, in order for it to be effective. But the first thing I would say is, let's go ahead and reach out to the new sheriff and have some of these conversations, or at least include them in the conversations, because some of it is not within the city's parameters.
Thank you, State Rep. One thing, these notes, so there are being notes that are taken from this meeting. So part of that, we did reach out to the sheriff's office. We spoke to the assistant sheriff who's over special events who handles the stadium. So what we're gonna do is compile the information that we get to send that over to them. Something that you mentioned, State Rep, for what the state might can help us with, we were talking about, you mentioned the reversible lanes. That's on 199. What we were talking about and having conversations with the Dolphins is supporting the reversible lane on 27th Avenue, which is a state road. From 27th, coming from 183rd to actually county line. We know they're doing work with the rail system, but what happens, if we were to take out that and put a reversible, we took that median out of 199 to make it residents access, but also help with traffic. So you mentioned what could the state shift and maybe spearhead.
Conversation with FDOT.
Thank you so much. And yes, contacted the office. Meeting and for us to have another meeting. Some of you who don't know, there are roads in Miami Gardens that are run by Miami Gardens. And then there's some that are run by the county. And then there are others, as we've spoken, that are run by the state. So depending who is governing that road, we have those conversations. So we're planning for the one with the sheriff. Right. So stay tuned. Next.
Okay, before you start my time, a couple of people that have asked me, where do you access the proposal we're talking about?
That's gonna be on the city website. That was the item which I presented in the last July meeting. So
I'll send it to you.
126,
I'll send
126,
it. Oh, okay.
it's on the city's website. You can access it.
Okay, thank you. And I don't have my glasses, so I hope I can read what I'm saying, what I want to say. So my name is Dr. Carla Bryan Sheard. I am a resident and a business owner here in Miami Gardens.
Sorry, could you repeat the name again? I will apologize. I didn't hear you.
Dr. Carla Bryan Sheard.
Thank you.
So as we discuss what a residents first policy should look like, I want to ask that we think beyond simply protecting residents from displacement or making sure they have access to services. Residents first should also mean residents benefit economically from what happens in their own city. Miami Gardens hosts some of the largest sporting, entertainment, and cultural events in the country. Those events bring tremendous attention and economic activity, but they also bring traffic, road closures, parking challenges, and public safety concerns directly into our neighborhoods. So my ask is this: can the Residents First policy include a formal event-to-income strategy that intentionally positions Miami Gardens residents to earn from the events they are already being impacted by? Before we bring in outside vendors, let's first identify what goods and services these events need and determine what Miami Gardens businesses can already provide. Then survey our existing business owners, ask them what they do well, where they need help, what challenges they have experienced working with the city, and what support they still need. And where we discover gaps, let's help residents create businesses to fill those gaps. That could mean workshops and one-on-one technical assistance in business formation, procurement, marketing, pricing, bookkeeping, tax reporting, and lawful tax strategies. So we do not simply help people make money, but help them keep it, manage it, and grow it. I would also ask that we measure the results. How many resident businesses were created? How many received contracts? How many local jobs were created? How much income went into the hands of Miami Gardens residents? And how much of that money was spent back into our community? Because when our residents earn more, they can spend more locally, support other local businesses, better afford their housing, hire their neighbors, and build wealth. If we are truly creating a residents first policy, I am asking that we make economic opportunity one of its measurable pillars. Miami Gardens says it is where you want to be. Let's make sure it is also where our residents can build, earn, grow, and stay. Thank you.
Now, one of the things, and thank you for that, but one of the things that I want you to know, some of that stuff that you mentioned is in place, and we had a conversation with the Miami Dolphins about them doing a better job of telling the services that they offer. So one of the things they do is local businesses and local business owners have the opportunity to come into the stadium to, they're waiving certain parameters for those businesses that are in Miami Gardens and people that are residents to actually come in and offer different services. We've seen the people there, but again, that's through communication. We can make sure that we work and help them get their information out. But that is something that they do have in place already.
Thank you. I love being a scientist, I don't know if you're aware, I'm a physician and also a scientist. And I just had to make a comment that I like measurements. I love measuring outcomes. So I think that's a brilliant idea that we do some measurements of anything that we implement actually. That we start measuring them and see how effective they are given after a certain period of time. So thank you for that. And I will definitely follow up. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Good evening,
To the
Dr.
mic, to the
Powell.
mic.
Good evening, Dr. Powell. Thank you for providing this opportunity for us. I encountered something
Name for
different.
everyone. Name
Your
for
name.
everyone, please.
Yes. The very last.
Your name, your name.
Oh,
Name
sorry,
for everyone.
Lynette Hickenbottom. So busy, I want to get over myself. Yes. The last day of FIFA, I had a situation, I'm not gonna say it very long, I had an emergency, my doctor sent me to get medications at Walmart. I was in AARP when you say stay away when the games are, and I followed that. But I was stuck doing that and the meds were not ready until after 2. Unfortunately, I got over there and there wasn't an issue getting there. I take access to ride. And when I came out after getting my meds, I have no way of going home. Why? The police officer told me, I'm not sure of the terminology, but they said there was a lockout in perimeter, and it included Walmarts. So I just wanted to cry. I didn't have no way of getting home. I started asking people that were coming out of the store with their cars, like, you know, are they going that way, whatever. Anyway, fortunately, a freebie came by. I think it was God's way. And they wouldn't take me because I didn't call them, but because I mentioned Mr. Clay's name, and he said, oh, you could flag it down. The guy said, okay, come on. And they took me home. What I want to know from that, why did that happen? I've never heard of that before. There's been games and all these other things, and there's no lockout for the access to ride. What the police officer told me, wasn't a Miami Gardens police officer that was in that area, said that I would have to go to Betty T, or I would have to go to Calder. I live like across the street from Calder. I cannot walk those places. I'm trying to get home on an access to ride. So I think that us meeting here, and that needs to be brought up, you know, because there were quite a few people out there that had the same issue that day. Thank you very much.
We have our assistant chief here. Chief, could you come and explain to our residents
Chief like these are
in
trying to leave.
terms of
He
lockout?
was over there. Back man. Close to the, yeah, he back there.
I think that's, first of all, I'm very sorry that you had that experience because no one should have to sit and wait, especially if they're not feeling well. But one of the things I was happy to hear is that Freebie was working. Thank you over here, Freebie was
I missed the
working.
first part about the lockout.
Yes, the terminology, is everyone familiar with that? Can you explain that term to us? She said she was told that there was a lockout perimeter, and I'm not familiar.
You know, when you dial in the number for the access to ride, it won't go through to the access to ride.
I don't know about the ride share thing, I'm not sure of that.
Because the police officer told me it was locked out for that.
To come in that area, she
Oh, you
said.
talking about
Come
the
in that
Uber?
Perimeter
area.
lockout, yes.
Was it Uber?
For the Uber and the Lyft, because some
For
of
any
the
rider.
access.
Yeah, because you remember some of the
you
access
spoke, but
points
the
weren't
access
allowed
to
into,
ride.
to the closure areas. So that, yeah, that was, what happens is Uber and Lyft and them they have a geofence. And that
That goes-
geofence
yeah.
only allows them into certain areas that they pick up and drop off. So they don't want the people to be dropped off on the street, so they're either at, Betty T. Ferguson or Calder during the event. You guys can hear me?
No, they talk.
So Uber and Lyft are geo-fenced, and when they're geo-fenced, the drivers only can pick up and drop off in certain areas. So what was going on was, they have these, they call it gypsy drivers, where they were dropping people off in the middle of the road, in the swales, where they weren't supposed to be dropped off. So Uber and Lyft geo-fenced the areas so that they were dropped off at certain areas. Be it Calder or Bennington Ferguson, because that's a safe area, because then you got the sidewalks, you're not, you remember you had the race walls along 27th Avenue. So drivers were dropping these kids off and adults on the side of the road, and you got people driving up and down. It becomes a danger. It becomes a danger to not only the residents walking, but it also becomes a danger to cars stopping and possibly being rear-ended. So again, geo-fenced on certain days, even Dolphin games and everything else, concerts, is always geo-fenced to either Calder or Bennington Ferguson.
Understood, now I understand. So translate for those who didn't get it. If there is a game, activity, or event going on, Uber and Lyft can only drop off and pick up in certain areas. So I recommend do not use Uber and Lyft during the game time and before and after, but freebie is able to go. So if you have to, use our free services until we talk about something. But the safety was a big issue. There was incidents, there were accidents, there was a whole lot of things that happened when the drop-offs were random. Yes, sir.
Francis, Rob, I'm going to go quickly because I'm going to cover several points. Are we good in hearing? Okay, the first thing is we'll do what most recently as stated here with regards to that blocking off of the pavement for the FIFA game, which compromised people. I saw a gentleman on a wheelchair having to navigate himself on the main road. Thankfully, nobody got killed. That should never happen. I need to go back into the history, okay? Because when the stadium was first built, it was football only, and we have all of the real estate around the stadium as parking. Okay, with the building of the training center, and especially the event, the main one being Formula One, when all of the real estate which was for parking on the north side of 199th Street, when that is utilized, there's not enough parking to accommodate those who attend the event. What needs to have a discussion is, and no one from the city is holding the Dolphins accountable for going vertical to make up for the parking that is lost as a result, of the training center, because that's a permanent situation. And as we utilize the 35-acre and so forth, there's no parking. There's not enough real estate vacant lot within the confines of the city of Miami Gardens in order for them to say, box people in. It's a no-no, it's a catastrophe that is waiting to happen. What we need to do is that they voted overwhelmingly for the half a penny sales tax, for which we had gotten approval for the North Corridor. And thanks to one of our congressmen, I'm not going to call the name now, but who take that which was approved when Roosevelt Bradley was the department head for the county, and take that money from the North Corridor. We went through the shirts, naming all different stuff, and they take that money and went to the airport, which created the most important. What needs to be done, now that we have the congressperson going to be the federal, we need to have federal, state, and the North Corridor offer the only one for tri-county regional transportation in order to make sure that we can alleviate the situation with regards to the parking situation. That is our biggest problem that we have with the state. I can stop here, but if you
Thank you, sir.
all right,
Thank you,
because
Ms. Wright. We
our
appreciate
problem
you.
is they have to go vertical.
Yes, we do have a guest. Ms. Melanie Bergson is coming from the great city in the office of our Mayor Daniela Cava. She is the Governmental and Community Affairs Liaison.
Good.
Come on, Dan. And she has a message to give to our residents.
Hello, Miami Garden.
Hello.
It is so good to be here with you on behalf of our mayor, Daniela Bincala. If she could be here, she would, but we sent her away for some R&R. That is the only way that we can get her not to do anything. Because y'all know she is everywhere. So I did bring my little glittery book, you know, because I love glitter, I love, yeah, to take notes. I can take that to her. We had our budget town hall meeting about last week. And I have to tell you, Dr. Powell, that given 3 minutes, wow, that is so generous. We only get one. And we have people that hold the mic. I'm one of them. So once you get to your 1 minute, that's it. So wanted to say, I'm here to listen and to take notes back to the mayor. She's very interested in what's happening here today and is willing to work with all of the parties involved, whether it be the state, whether it be the stadium, the City of Miami Gardens, and the residents. From this meeting, we will convene a meeting with those institutions so that we can assist you in any way that we can to get something done about what is happening. And I can tell you that I am very familiar with what is happening. My aunt lives on 199, and she also has the same issues. So I share your concerns, and I will definitely make sure that the message gets back to her and that there's a meeting with the county, along with the state, the stadium, and the City of Miami Gardens to help with these issues. Okay? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
my name is Rod Mack. I don't believe there's
Say
a...
what?
My name is Rod Mack. I don't believe there's a real solution that puts residents first unless we talk about reducing the number of cars that enter the city during the event into the city. Anything outside of that is just a Band-Aid on the problem. The real solution to all of our problems, finding ways to reduce the number of cars on a quick solution to it, not permanent, is to increase the number of off-site parking spaces and show that bring visitors into our city. That way, if people do drive and get out of the city faster and eliminating a lot of the headache that comes with residents. But a more permanent solution is number one, increase the express bus transit that bring the regional bus transit, as Mr. Ragu spoke about, that brings people in and out of the city. And I don't want any of this to take away that we continue to advocate for a permanent rail system here in the city. That is the only true solution to our problems. Everything else will just be situations that we'll deal with now, as far as not being able to get into Walmart and one of these things, because no matter what they do, it's going to be too many cars entering the city. So anything outside of that is not a real solution to fixing our problems. So we can't lose sight of that, and we have to continue to advocate and, as Mr. Ragu said, get those dollars back to get a permanent transit and regional transit into this north corridor, into the stadium area, so that way we can reduce the number of cars that enter in the city, and we can move about freely or more freely than we are now. This is not anything that's uncommon. With my profession, I visit a lot of stadiums around the country, and it's happening all over the country. We have to advocate for those things to happen here in Miami Gardens. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So while we have that comment made, and we have our representative here, you know how we make changes like these? Vote. Vote. And with that being said, at this meeting in the back, we have a young lady here, Sherry Perry, who has come to this meeting and she's here in the back. And for those of you who missed the vote, we have another one coming up November 3rd. Please do not miss that vote.
Yeah.
And if you are not registered to vote, or if you think you may or may not be registered to vote, not certain, please go see Michelle Perry, register again, get your paperwork updated, but we need you to vote. We need you to vote. And when you go, take somebody with you. All right, yes, sir.
My name is Miles Houston. As a Miles Houston, as a former employee of this city, as a 30-year resident, and watching the city transition from running from the county to transition into Miami Gardens. Like y'all said, the lights on 199 ran when the county ran it. When Miami Gardens took over, you have on average 190 officers. The city of Miami hosts a lot of events too, but they have 800 officers. So you want a city that grew from 2003 with just football games to world-class events to keep the same average of police officers. Not only that, you got other cities coming into the city telling residents that don't get the same information that the Miami Guards officers get. So a Miami Guards officer might take my residence pass, but a mirror mark is coming to help Miami Guards and the county and Hialeah and Opa-locka getting all that information together. You're gonna have chaos. If I have a child, and if I tell her to do one thing, mother tells her to do another thing, daddy tells her to do another thing.
It's chaos.
You're gonna have chaos.
Chaos.
You grew a city. This is a big city, the third largest. Grow the police department, grow the control, grow the information within the city, not different municipalities telling one municipality what to do.
Thank you so much for that concern. I do want to make some point of clarification. Our police force has increased, and we have our assistant chief who will be coming back to give you the growing numbers that we have of officers. In addition, I do want to inform you that I had to redo this research, but I found out that they do have what they call huddles, and they do have meetings before events to discuss when outside officers are coming in. And the conversation is currently on the table, and I can disclose it because I already spoke to the manager, where our officers will be at the entrance to the corridors. That's the goal, so that we will be the entrance for our own area. But because, you're right, there's no way we can do the entire policing and of just an event and abandon the rest of the city. We do utilize outside officers, but they're not randomly brought in. They are educated, they are trained, and there is oversight to their involvement.
I'm thinking that it's sounding a little bit confusing because our officers do not, the City of Miami Gardens officers do not control the event. So when we're talking about events, that is Miami-Dade Sheriff that is actually doing all the controlling of the event. So I'm getting confused when we're talking about our officers, and I don't want the residents to get confused about our officers and the other officers. Yes, Miami-Dade County Sheriff does include other officers when they're doing events. But the stadium, anytime there's a event at the stadium, that's, their officers are under the jurisdiction of the county.
The stadium jurisdiction is the county's jurisdiction. It's the county, right, it's not. Yeah, that's what she said, yeah, it's the county.
As far as the policing, yes, but I wouldn't say that because their taxes come to us. So that's why I want to clarify that.
Okay.
We had to fight for it.
So I think the next meeting that we will be having, and I told you I will let you know, We will be having a conversation with the sheriff department, and I think we'll get some better clarification, which we all need. And before I have the next person speak, I have a question, and I think I do have a representative from codes here. It says, how can the building codes be strengthened to deal with all the motor homes and sheds in the neighborhood people are living in?
different.
Okay,
That's something.
so this question is a great question.
Not for
and
this
I
one,
think-
it's already
raise-
handled.
raise your hand.
It's already handled.
Back there for codes. At my talk with the doc, which will be on the 4th Tuesday of the month, we talk all about codes, so please be there,
Okay.
right? The next question is, what can be done about the flooding all around the city when it rains?
That's not this meeting.
Again, we're gonna discuss that at the talk with the doc meeting, but just in short, we're in a season that we've never had before. We've had more rain than ever. And there's a lot of work going on to help with the flooding. And we're gonna again talk about that when, we have our talk with the doc, which will be on the 4th Tuesday coming up. So please be there. We will talk about the motorhomes and sheds, and we'll be talking about flooding prevention and all the things that really concern our
YouTube, it's not
infrastructure. So
Instagram.
please be there. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Romy. Can you hear me? My name is Early.
Must be somebody that knows you.
I'm Earlene Hayes, and I'm the resident of Miami Gardens, of course, and in the Crestview area. But I have 3 quick questions. First is concerning the speed bumps on 211th Street. I know I've been to a town hall or two with my aunt who actually lives on that street, and she made me come here today and ask this question about when more speed bumps are going to be placed on 211th Street. Because, you know, by her living right there on the curb, someone has actually ran into her house, a car has ran into her house, and, you know, there's speed bumps off 37th Avenue going east on 211, but that's as far as it gets, those 2 little bumps. But the majority of the traffic comes around that curve when it's right there off 211th Street and heading east on 27th Avenue. So that is a very big concern of a lot of people who live on that street, because the cars come through there, big trucks, buses, and they just go so fast that, you know, it's just really a danger to the area. Second question is, why is there just a one-way in out on 207th Street going east on 207th Street towards where the old Calder racetrack used to be? I have relatives that live in that area, and you have one way in and one way out. I was under the impression that, you know, maybe a couple of years ago, that when they started building the apartments in that area, that there was going to be a different a way of getting out and or in off of County Line Road, but that is not the case. So when there's an emergency, when there's flooding on the street, you know, when there's traffic, when there's, you know, the things happening at the stadium, you can't get in, and if you do get in, you can't get out. So that's a big concern of that. And this is just because I'm curious about what's happening with the on the run store that's on the corner of 183rd and 27th. What the heck is that thing gonna open? It's been sitting there for about, what, like 4 or 5 years now, and
But they probably stopped funding.
They told us
They probably ran out of money.
No, they told us they were gonna.
You know, it's tough.
They told us they
it
were.
was a 7-Eleven.
Well, I know, and then they took, somebody else probably bought it,
Yeah.
yeah. We private
They
on it.
told us. That's not the topic.
So I'm just curious about that. And if I get a chance, while I'm just standing here and thinking about it, what is going to be placed in that empty lot?
Go ahead, get it all out, get it all out.
At 183rd Street and 22nd Avenue.
100.
It's at 183rd Street and 22nd Avenue,
Oh,
there's an empty
I
lot.
think
It's a car wash.
It's gonna be a
I
car
know,
wash.
yeah, wasted property,
The car wash.
wasted property.
Oh, we got a lot of money, we don't need it.
We don't, but we can't control who buys it.
Oh, okay, I wanted to ask a question. You after that guy. Yeah, I want to ask a question. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. One moment, can we all listen? Yes, please. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Good evening, sir. Very Christian. This is 2013. Community advocate, founder of hashtag Impact at Impact Media. Resident in Hamilton, Walden Pond, county area. I'm and Councilwoman Powell because I watched the last meeting on YouTube. And as a person who has a disability and advocates for people with disabilities and a parent who has disabilities and lives around seniors, I was very concerned when Councilman Leon pointed out that rescue units and police units were not able to access people on time. As a person with life-threatening illnesses, diabetic and asthma, as a parent who is 80 years old and seen several people with life-threatening illnesses, this is unacceptable. So today, I am putting forward a proposal as an addendum to add additional rescue resources as a proposal, if you can find a way to do it, outside the stations to provide quicker response time for that, police, fire, and EMS, so that everybody in critical areas can get the services they need. Second proposal is also for you guys to travel to other cities, and recommended also that you go to a Marlins game and see what the city of Miami is doing, and also go to some Heat games and see what they do. To study this, plus go to cities like Philadelphia, Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, just some cities that have a congested area that you can understand traffic problems and flows that have multiple events. I want to also say thank you to Councilman Leon for great years and great service. I thank him for that. I don't know if he's still here, but I want to thank him for that and serving us well. I want to thank you, Dr. Powell, my personal physician. I support you in all you do. Thank you for having us, and thank you for all you've done for us. Thank you. Thank you, Representative Robinson, for attending today.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Fred.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Noel Knights. I live 27th Avenue, 199. I just wanted to bring a concern as far as the F1 event that went on. The fencing contractor that you guys used, they left the holes from the poles all around the community. None of the holes were filled. 199, well, I only looked at 199th and 27th Avenue where my home is. I'm sure it goes all along. So you have holes in the sidewalk, in the grass, and then the materials that they use, the clips. So mount the fence, just boom in the grass. I have pictures if you need, but I just want to bring that to your attention.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, where should I send it to?
To her email.
All right, I get it.
Got a card.
My concern is, as far as the July 22nd meeting was held, the city council meeting, there was discussion about 11.3. And in that discussion, it was said that Mayor Harris and City Manager Benson had some type of previous conversations about this dolphins and this first residence policy. So where do we know where to pick up from if we don't know what they have received? How can we don't know what they have gotten. So we're sitting here talking, but the next city council meeting, they said it was deferred, 11.3 was deferred until the second city council meeting in September. So are there going to be other meetings like this to see what's going on, briefings and anything? That's my question. I'm trying to stay with the subject, but that's concerned if that deferred item is coming up on the second Wednesday,
Second Wednesday.
Yes, so we need to know what's going on because we're doing a lot of talking, but if negotiations are happening now with the city manager as far as 11.3, where is their input? We don't know what's going on their side.
Okay, so point of clarification for the residents first policy is not what was on discussion with the Dolphins. What was on discussion, many of the items that was brought up were already in place with conversation with our representative for our city. Our mayor and our city manager are our representatives for everything, and they had already started conversations about issues that were brought up in the 11.3. Not that they were going on parallel, but they're obvious conversations that had already needed to be brought up from prior engagement with residents. So our city manager and our mayor already recognized the issues that you see and that are being brought up, said they had already started conversation, but it was not the conversation about 11.3. So what, in answer to your question, what will happen after this meeting? So I am taking information, taking down notes, taking down concerns. I will be responding to everyone who has taken the time to ask questions. Every single person will get a response. I will go back and speak with the city manager. Of course, I won't speak to the mayor outside the sunshine meeting, but I will speak with the city manager and give him the information. More than likely, because I've already had conversation with them, there will be duplications. A lot of things you guys have already spoken about, I know they're already in conversations about. One of them, no one has mentioned as succinctly, but I was concerned when I spoke, was communication. I had an issue, and I don't want it to be my talk, this is your talk, but I had an issue because sometimes I get notification. I don't know if you've registered yet, but I hope everyone's registered for traffic. So I registered to get the traffic information that comes on the city website, and it comes to my email. Sometimes it would say, okay, shutdown of lanes happening 10 o'clock on this day. It didn't happen on that day, and then happened maybe 2 weeks or 3 days later. It was very random and erratic. So one of the things I'm asking for is consistency in the communication and accuracy. And should something change, that it is communicated expediently. You know, so you say Lane's going to close down on Tuesday, but then it ends up closing down on Sunday, sometimes earlier and not later. We're gonna close off the highway at 10:30, and then at 9:30, I think I got 30 minutes to get home, and they close the lane down. So that's one of my asks, that we have clearer, accurate communication and consistency.
Can I just get this, my whole 3 minutes while I'm thinking it's quite good, so I got maybe 30 seconds.
Sure,
When will,
No, you got 1 minute and 30 seconds.
when will the actual residents be a part of this policy to come and communicate, collaborate with the city manager, the Dolphins? When will that happen? When will that happen? I mean, we have the town hall, but when will the actual residents that live in the city of Miami Gardens be a part of that conversation? With our tax dollars.
So I think that's a question I think everyone has asked me or had communications with me on a regular basis, right? And it's what we're doing right now as your representative on the council is having conversation. It is important conversation. This is what you've elected me to do, to hear you, listen to you, and then I, as well as all the other individuals that you've elected, now make the decision based on the input that we receive. So what you're doing right now is giving the information for which we, as your council, will speak on your behalf. Yes. And in a nutshell, if we go to social science, the difference between a democracy and a republic. You know, where we represent you, I represent you, and that's why I'm doing this. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
You got to
At the
speak
end
up.
of the day, we're the taxpayers.
Your name?
Oh, sorry. Pat Wright with the W.
Y'all here?
So we're the taxpayers, and we're also the people that the government should listen to if they don't. Problem I have, I'm going to Naples every 2 weeks. If they have a game over there, we're not allowed to use the turnpike. That's the quickest way for me to get out there, and I don't know who has the authority to shut that down, because if I'm not wrong, it's a state
Speak up,
road.
Miss Pat.
So the thing of it is, we were over there when they had the last game. There was a Miami Gardens police officer there, but we did have the tag, but they changed, I think, the color and something else on them, so I got one of the newer ones. You didn't recognize that?
didn't care that we had to go anywhere, and it was very rude. So he told us we had to turn around. We still couldn't go that way out towards 27th Avenue. We had to go backwards somewhere where we got caught up in a one-way, and still had to go all the way back around the city just to try to find another way to get out to Naples. And I think if you have the police officers in here, and they're from other agencies, there needs to be something that all of them know. I think the horrible part is that we feel we are residents, we are taxpayers, and we're the last and the least to be considered when it comes to something being here. And I think that's just wrong. And it's the same way with all of these big 18-wheelers running through our neighborhoods, and they shouldn't do that. And all of that traffic, the 18-wheelers and all of that, it's something that needs to be desired, because we need to, especially during the school zone, 14th Avenue and 17th Avenue, all of that traffic, when it comes off the expressway, right through our neighborhoods, to get back to there, but we can't still use the turnpike. And that's what, if we could do something regarding that, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We definitely, transportation is now in the sheriff's department, and when the sheriff departments come, we will definitely be having that conversation. I did, a while back, at one of my talking blocks, did talk to, the city, Dade County, about 17.
County.
Well, first start with Miami Gardens. I realized 17 is not a local street. I don't know if you guys knew that, but 17 is not local, it's county.
Okay, that's fine.
And so because it's county, we have to go to county to request that, my request was that these big 18-wheelers not come down 17. You got kids, you got a park, it's just not a good look to have these big trucks, according to me and as a resident. But it had to go to Dade County. So I've had the conversation again, and now I'm directed to go to the sheriff's office, which now has transportation. So when they come, we're going to, ahead of that conversation, I'm still going to send another note now to the sheriff department, and they will be holding a meeting concerning that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Keisha Guyton.
We can't hear you.
Hi, my name is Keisha Guyton. And because you spoke on the sunshine, I feel we don't have a lot of transparency when it comes to our city. And one thing that really struck me is, I don't want to call out his name, he's a commissioner. And I'm just not going to call the name of the commissioner. He already has his name in our city. And I felt that it was, not nice that they wrote in an agenda for him to be put on the art center that y'all created. It wasn't on the agenda beforehand. It was. We're going to be transparent. That is a big issue. And I really feel that we have a lot of other people that are in our city, and we not want to keep seeing the same things.
Good evening, my name is Gail Cunningham. I would like for you, Councilwoman Powell, to explain to the people, when this is deferred on September the 9th, what that actually means. Because if it's deferred, and even though you're here as a representative, we appreciate that, we have 6 others. And when that vote comes up, if they are not as attentive as you are, or relying on what information you have gathered in order to make the decision, and not making a deep dive for themselves as to what the residents and everybody really wants and what they have spoken here, then they're going to go by what you said that I got out there and I got this information, and just go by that and may go to a negative or to a positive. So if it's deferred, it could be actually voted on that night, and it could be a policy. I'll let you explain this too. Is it a policy that they're voting on? Or is it an ordinance that they're voting on? Is it a change to the charter? What is it that they're voting on if the mayor and the city manager are still in communication with the Dolphins? How do we know that was completed? And when it was started, did it start in a little room, and then it came to the table where most people like ourselves are appeased to say, oh, we're sitting at the table, we go down on a chair. The decision was already made in the little room. Now they're making you feel as though you're a part of it all. And like you said, you represent the city, so do the other people too. But when they get there, and you guys have heard us say this over and over again in the council meetings, you're only one vote. There are 6 others. So if you can explain the deferred, what's actually going to happen, if it is a policy, is it an ordinance, does it change the charter, what actually happens on the night? Because now you're looking at almost less than a month away. What happens?
So let's start with what will happen for this meeting. Because this room is filled with individuals from all over the city, thank goodness, I'm glad to see so many represented. The first thing that my responsibility, what I said I'm going to do, every person that has made a comment or a question, that will be shared publicly to the other council people, as well as to the city manager, as well as to the mayor. Now, they are in negotiation and they will get this information from this meeting. It is now one of the things I want to make very clear. They're having conversations about management issues, management and contract issues, which is different than, can be the same, but not usually the same policy, right? So, for instance, we brought to the table about the safety of having the electric golf carts, right? That came up, and it was discussed, and we talked about it because it turned into a danger. Someone had gotten hit, not once, but twice. Individuals have been hit. So it moved from just a conversation that would be nice, and that certain requirements would be required for the trolleys, to then it moved into, no, we need an actual policy that these carts cannot be in the area of risk, what they call the zone. They created a zone. So in answer to your question, first step is taking the information from this meeting, disseminating to all the council people, as well as the manager and the mayor, who will be in negotiations about contracting with the stadium. Now, you're going to find that, as I said before, they had already identified many of the issues and many of the things you're talking about. So that's already probably part of what they're going to be discussing. I don't have the details, I'm not privy to it, that's not my area. But my mission right now is to get your information to them for decision making. So now back to your question about the 9th. Now, how do we move now to making this policy? With all the conversations that are being had, there's central themes that are going on here, right? And when those central themes are reviewed, then it'll be determined which one of those themes, some, few, maybe all, should be incorporated into a hard policy. Charter review is a whole nother animal to change a charter. So it will not be a charter change, for sure.
Well,
right?
the charter can be amended
Yes,
before we do the revision.
Right, but that's another animal. Right now, the idea is to incorporate the needs and the necessities to make this city stronger with policy that is firm. So as far as the 9th go, I cannot say definitively, well, everything that's being said tonight will now enter into policy. It will be reviewed, it will be evaluated, and then, if able, if necessary, will be placed in a policy.
How strong would that policy be? Because when you say policy and you're gonna publicize it in public, so that you're saying doing it that way, then the other representatives, a council person, whatever, would have a chance to read it, because you guys cannot be other than at-large people to be in the same room with the, so now you're saying, so they can read it. Okay, now, if they choose not to do, and we're always talking about transparency, what you just said, if that was done before we heard this July 22nd, it would have made a difference.
I'm done.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
Christine Malcolm. So I wanted to bring up the fact that on the first day of FIFA, the sidewalks on Northwest 27th Avenue, Northwest 199th Street, this lovely lady right here, this writing guy, she actually held the mic as I spoke about this last week at the budget meeting. And I'll bring it up again for people who don't know, that sidewalk and the two sidewalks on going north and south and east and west, we're talking about from Northwest 27th Avenue, Northwest 14th Court, 199th Street, that was blocked off for 16 hours. We're talking about from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. When you're on 27th Avenue, the sidewalk that is west of 27th Avenue, that's adjacent to where we're talking about Leslie Estate, number 4 or 2, I'm not sure of the number, 4, that sidewalk was blocked. You could not use it. There was security there. That is an ADA violation. My question is, it says here, future agreements should preserve public access to sidewalk, crosswalks, bicycle facilities, bus stops, and other public infrastructure whenever practicable. How is that not practicable to have the sidewalks being used by the community? I have video, I've sent it to you and the other 5 sitting council members in this city. I've not heard anything from anyone regarding what the city is doing, right? The city is a partner with the stadium, the city is a partner with the sheriff's department and the county. I spoke to Stacy Miller, who is the head of transportation in the county. She said that the county was responsible in conjunction with the sheriff for closing down Northwest 27th Avenue through 14th Court. Did the city not know this? Because there are people who live, there are a couple of people here who live on 199th Street. 16 hours is a problem. Blocking off the sidewalk for a month, almost 2 months, is a problem. I have video of people in the street the first day, the very first day of people. Guess what? The police officer, sheriff, had to put 3 vehicles in the street on 27th Avenue because he was afraid that someone was going to get hit. I'm confused as to why the city of Miami Gardens was not aware, or did you guys not go around? I understand that they don't put on the event, but the event is held in the city of Miami Gardens. And there's some onus from the city itself that you guys need to take some responsibility and say, okay, they're putting this up, let's take a look, let's walk around. City Hall is right down the street from 27th Avenue, 199th Street. You literally could take an Uber, you could take a freebie, you could walk there. Like, what are we doing here? I've talked about this, communication. I've talked about communication in the city of Miami Gardens is lacking. I don't care. Because right there, and I've spoken to Chief Nargiso when there was video sent to me about what was going on on 37th Avenue with Uber. And thanks to Chief Nargiso and the other police officers, they had the Uber go to Betty T so that I got video of all of this. But I want to thank Chief Nargiso because that really alleviated the situation on 37th Avenue when you have the parking over there on, Snake Creek Canal. There are pictures that were sent to me, the people in their backyards with cars parked up against the fence. How would you like it if someone is in their backyard in their swimming pool and you see folks parked there? Do you guys know that this is going on? This is a problem. And furthermore, last comment. I know that you're here. Yes, this is the last comment. You're the only council person here. That is a problem. We got 6 council members. Where is everybody? Where is everyone?
It's ridiculous. You're welcome.
Thank you. First, thank you so much for those comments, and thank you so much for thank you for staying vigilant and addressing something so important and near and dear to me as a physician, the safety of everyone, not just our disabled residents, but also everyone. And first I will say, there will be no more fever. I'll start with that. Second. So, second.
No more FIFA.
No, we're not having FIFA. FIFA's done. FIFA is done, and we're not having FIFA.
They're all the same.
Yes. So I'll be happy to say the issues that they brought is yesterday. But going forward, is my personal mission to really, really focus, and I've already discussed with Parks and Recreation because it was brought up to me concerning events and blocking handicap parking or blocking handicap routes. Actually, that I stay, I guess, vigilant as an advocate of the residents as well as our administrative team to secure safety for our seniors, our disabled, and for our residents in general. There should not be potholes, there should not be holes after someone has an event, and so that is concerning and it will be addressed. And thank you, Assistant Chief Nargisa, for answering our residents. We appreciate that. Christine, I did hear you, and it is being worked on because it is near and dear to
I got video too, so.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
Good evening, Dr. Powell.
You gotta speak up.
Councilwoman Powell, and to all of you.
You gotta speak
My
up.
name is Beverly Bush. I reside at Seat 1. I am concerned because I've been here to the city before it was a city for over 60 years. And with that info, we are growing leaps and bounds. There are things that need to be addressed, and one of those is the new residencies, let me just say residents, that are coming in. Code enforcers tell us that you're supposed to keep the city beautiful, take care of your yards, this, that, and the other. And yet we are beginning to look more like a motel as opposed to a city. We have cars parked everywhere, not just in the driveway, but all up in the front yards. And the excuse is that times are hard and people are coming back home. Well, that may be, but the city needs to look at this and address it. I live in what they call, or what is said to be, a flood area. And yet I've been there over 60 years, no flood. And yet, the yards are being concreted to look more like driveways and rather than yards. So if this is a flood area, this entails not only Miami Gardens, but the city, the state, the country. Because somebody is making these rules from up top, and they haven't been twinkled down, and if they have, they're not being enforced. Okay, so saying all of that, we need to give the people a chance to voice their opinions. And I know that we have a council meeting the second and the fourth Thursdays.
Wednesday.
Second and fourth Wednesday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Staying on top of that. Wednesday. All right, and that's a good thing. To come in, and she made mention of it early. She made mention of it early. I'll finish. That we need to get out and vote. But before we start voting, we need to take our concerns to the right places. Take it to the council first. We want to put down Miami Gardens when actually we haven't done our part as far as verbalizing it to the right people.
Oh, they know me.
And then, when they do that, we then stay there to be sure that they do something.
Sorry.
She looking surprised.
One more, Dr. Powell.
Thank you so much.
I mean, you can speak it. There's nobody else.
I do want to address I'd love, first of all, thank you for being here and staying here. That touched me, and I just have to say that so many things get hard or rough, or it's not the same, and people leave and don't fight. And I always think about our ancestors. I always have to think about our ancestors. When things were hard, they still stuck. We can't be a people that don't stick, even when we don't get what we want. Through lynching, through sprays, through spitting, through cursing, through shoving, they still stuck. And I'm so grateful that you still are here. Yes. And everyone else who's still here. And not just here, but speaking still voicing. And I just want to say before the meeting ends, I appreciate every soul that has come into this room today. Because you're still willing to stand. You're still willing to stay. Rome was not built in a day. Change will not come in a day, will not come in a year, will not come in 2 years, will not come in 5 years. But change does come. So stick with it, stay with it. And I appreciate you for doing that and for everyone that has come to give some sticking glue to everything that we're doing. Thank you.
Good evening, Dr. Powell, and good evening, and good evening to the Assistant Chief and to everyone in the room. My name is Marjorie Allen Cross, and I've been living here since 1985. And one of my questions is, I would like to ask about the building next door. A lot of people are asking, when would they be able to put in application for, some people are asking that. And also, my other concern is, the one hotel that we had, they sold it. So now we don't have any hotel. And what I'm saying though, we have so many people from out of town at times for these different events. Where do they stay? That's where they go to South Beach and everything. So I would like to know, when are we gonna get another hotel? I heard they're building it, but when? So I just wanted to find. Thank you. And it's nice to see so many people around.
Thank you so much. Another conversation for our talk with the doc, but I'm going to break protocol just for a second just to answer that question, which is, I don't know when the applications will be received for the senior housing, but they're looking at it being completed within the next 18 months. So as soon as I find out when applications are being received, I will let you know.
I'm sorry.
Now, also the hotel issue, we're going to get at a minimum of 2 more hotels. And ideally, I was told 3, right over by the performing arts area. And they've also said within the next 24 months. So get ready, get ready. And the traffic patterns, I've already asked in our workshop, what's going to happen with the traffic patterns. There will be a parking garage in the Performing Arts Center. There will be road transport in and out of it, and you guys can look at the plans because I believe it's online, what's going to be happening with that. But the hotels, 24 months. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Margaret Kendrick. My concern is about, I live at 199 and 27th Avenue, Leslie Estates Association number 4. It's my understanding that the City of Miami Gardens have made an agreement with the stadium to provide a wall for us starting from 199 going down to 27th Avenue. I understand Councilman Leon was initiating this. As a matter of fact, he came to one of our association meetings and introduced this to us. I haven't heard anything about it, so I need to know an update on it, because I heard the lady say earlier that the wall took a long time, like almost 8 years on 200 and something street. And I wonder, do we have to wait 8 years to get this, or get some kind of feedback?
I will find out for you.
Reuse.
If you, Diana,
Whoa.
Diana, you get an email? I'll find out from you when the timeline is for that wall.
And can we get like a picture, a proposal of what they're gonna put up? Because at first it was gonna be a fence, now it's gonna be a wall, so.
I'll find out for you. If everyone, did everyone, just as a point of, information, did everyone sign in with their email, so I'll be able to send these questions?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
I did already.
Because I don't wanna hear, no one ever answered the questions. I am promising these questions are getting answered. So I wanna make sure everyone who came today, who gave the email, will be put on communication so that you get the information.
I just wanted to ask one last question. Because you all will be meeting with the Dolphins when you're talking to them, there are no residents in the room at all, right?
Yeah. I'm not meeting with the Dolphins. Our management meets with them.
Right, they're meeting, when the management is meeting with them, there are no residents there, right?
Because they're representative. In the charter, if you look at the charter has the manager and the mayor as the decision makers for the city. So anytime negotiations, I can write this, I'm so baby. But, when the charter was written, they were earmarked as the communication voice for the city. And what's unique about Miami Gardens, in many communities, it's usually the manager or the mayor. In the city of Miami Gardens, they actually have cooperative roles. So it's our manager and our
But since they
mayor.
are representing us, how are they knowing all of what we want? I mean, how could they bring our changes to the table? That's all I'm saying. Because we have a lot of groups out here.
And if you, I will bring, as I said, information, but feel free to send them emails.
Yeah.
Their emails are on the website. Feel free to send them your concerns so they know it. Even if they, I will.
I said it.
but even so, your information, like I said, that I received today, I will be giving it to all my council people, to the manager, and to our mayor, who will be our decision.
Just because even if you're discussing something, is it possible that once they discuss it, even if it's not the final decision yet, that they can still come to us so that we may have some input because we're out here. We're living outside of that. So is it possible they may want to hear what we have to say as well?
They don't want to hear.
Thank you.
One question. Maybe to help that.
Wait a second, you came to the mic, but the gentleman behind you have not yet come to the mic, so.
It's kind of going back to her, it's just one quick question. When are we gonna bring back committees? And that probably will help there. Committees, we used to have like committee boards and stuff, and that would probably help that situation. I'll never see them being activated.
What committee?
The committee.
Advisory board?
Yeah.
Has
They have
everyone
one.
had a chance? This
I'm on
gentleman
one.
has not yet had a chance. Is there anyone else who has not been to the mic?
Well, I'll be kind of brief. One of the things I saw.
Your name?
My name is Peter Kendrick, and like this young lady here, I'm like a dinosaur member of the Miami Gardens community before it was Miami Gardens. In fact, I was part of the initial thought of creating Miami Gardens. So I just wanted to say here, you know, you in this flyer you talk, there's number 2 here, said respect everyone. And I think that's one of the problems. I threw my shoe at my television during the FIFA. Because during the time they were, you know, they were advertising for FIFA. It was Miami Stadium. It was never Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. It was never that. So there was total disrespect for people. I call the Channel 10, I call the station.
That's everywhere though.
I talked to Gail about it, and she called, some other members
That's
probably
everywhere.
called. I also like to comment on what you said, well, FIFA's gone. I worked for the city of Miami for over 14 years, and I was on the initial committee when they had racing. And so, according to what the final financial results are, they'll be back. Because if it was a success, trust me, they will be back. And they roll over the city of Miami Gardens, because what you said was absolutely true. I was appalled at how people exposed to cars almost running over them. And that is a lack of respect. Also, people were parking in residential areas. They had people, these tri-cars or whatever it is, transportation, and they were parking in illegal places. They didn't have any enforcement. I don't know, and I was part of a lot of the events when I was with the city of Miami. And just like she just asked, there are committees. The mayor and the city manager may be the ones who make the decision, but I served on committees, and those committees discussed what was going on, and it was a thought process, and there were city members who provided input at the city of Miami. I don't know if that's still the case, but that's something that needs to be done, because I hear that a lot here. We're frozen out of the decision making, and that's not right. So that's all I had to say about it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate that input. What I do want to say, on our city website, the committees that are still functioning are present. And if you'd like to participate on a committee, please send me an email, and I'll let you know if there's openings. There's two, I think, depending on what committee it is, one of the council gets to assign 2 people. I haven't assigned anyone. I think I've assigned maybe 1 person. So if you're interested on a committee, send me an email, go to the website, look at the one that you're interested in, if you want to participate, and let me know. And I'll be happy to put you on the committee so that you can voice your input. Yes, sir. What is everyone gone? Because we're on round 2. Oh, we have 1 person. Yes. You want the mic?
I'll come to the mic.
Okay.
Real quick, hold
There's
on.
a gun, yeah. Send it, right? You can go there. Oh.
I just have a quick question. My name is Sandra. My name is Sandra
The mic,
Dickerson.
Mike, you gotta put it closer.
Okay, not a problem. Turn up your hearing aid. Okay, my name is Sandra Dickerson. My quick question is, we do get a lot of events in Miami Gardens, some that are advertised and some that are not advertised, and a lot of them usually bring in a lot of revenue to the city. We never see the outcome of where this money goes. We don't see anything in the city of Miami Gardens that shows where the residents have gotten any kind of profit from the inconveniences that they have experienced and the trauma that we have gone through all these years with these events that have occurred at this stadium. Not saying that the stadium is the boogeyman or anything in that, but the communication definitely is not there, and they're definitely not talking to the residents. And also, when we're having conversations with the City of Miami Gardens Police Department, it's pretty obvious that they're not talking to whomever they're bringing in as outside backup forces with them as to how they want our residents to be treated, because they could care less what we say and what we want to have done in the city. We're pretty much ignored, and that can't continue to go on. And that's it.
Thank you so much. 2 things. The good news about being a public institution, not just here in Miami Gardens, any of the public institutions, the government, the state, you can get a records request, and by law, you must get a response. You must get a response. So anyone can request records. You put it in writing, you send it to our clerk, and you will get a response. So if you choose and would like to say, well, how much, and I saw one that came across for Juneteenth, can we find out if, how much money was spent, right?
Much.
Now, you get what you ask for.
Okay.
So, just for your info, be specific if you want specific. And you send that to me. It goes to.
The city clerk,
the city
right?
clerk, yes. So any record, so if you want to know, well, what was the budget last year? You can request, what's the budget last year? How much money did the Dolphins pay in taxes? That's public record. Because taxes paid to a city is public. It's about $5 million they pay to our city. They're our highest payer in taxes. I don't know if you guys know that. They pay the most taxes in this city.
The Dolphins.
Right. Because whether they should or not, I'm just like telling you that public records, So I just want you to know that.
And $5 million is not a lot of money in this day and age.
My point is, for transparency, if you would like to increase your transparency and gain information,
Okay.
if you want to know numbers, put it in writing and make a request, and by law, you must get a response. No.
You can request the information from the city clerk. His name is Mario Bataille. Bataille or Batali, but that's the city clerk if you want to ask for a public request.
You don't go back and say, hey, I asked for an apple, why I got an orange. I'm just saying, according to. Yes, sir.
Thank you. For appreciating it, from Hashtag Impact Media. Thank you, Councilwoman. This is not talking because they don't want to be doing this. This was a great group, and I think it was great that y'all came out and were so civic-minded. But now we're facing a problem, and if you're part of this county policing, we're going to have a big budget battle the next month in September. So I'm encouraging some people to please speak out, because your police protection and your fire protection are on the block, and if Amendment 3 passes, they will close firehouses. So, one quick question. What days are the...
September 3rd.
September 3rd, please show up at the Clark Center early. We need your voices, guys, okay? Please show up, and show up on the 17th too. Thank you. The Stephen C. Clark Center.
Government Center. Government Center.
Quickly, in terms of that, the city also did have a town hall meeting to understand if that legislation passed, the impact in terms of services that will be impacted as a result. If you want the community to vote against it, they have to be educated on how it's going to hurt them. Okay, so that needs to be done. Secondly, the transparency, two things I need to know. For the 10-year extension, that Formula One, we don't know if we still only get $10 million, $5 million. What did the city benefit from that extension in terms of the billions of dollars being made? What is coming back to the city? Because we've got a 10-year extension and nobody knows what the city got. The Formula One, for the 10-year extension that goes until 2041, beyond the 10 years that we have received, what remuneration keep negotiated coming back to the city? We were underpaid in the first round. What are we getting? And the second thing is...
So, I'm sorry, I just want to, so you want to know what is the percent?
The 10-year extension that Formula One got.
What is the monetary amount?
10 years beyond what they have. What was negotiated that Formula One is given back to the city?
We can do a clerk request for that, yes.
Okay. And the second part is when the city was formed, the Dolphins was supposed to, in the 10th year anniversary, that was supposed to come under the control of the city of Miami Garden. The city of Miami Garden does activate what needs to be done, and that's sunsetted and now stadium. Can we revisit that situation to see how can we get control of it? Because that was the initial agreement when the city was formed, that they were exempt for 10 years, and in that would be 2013, is when it was supposed to come back under the city of Miami Gardens, but we did not do our part, and that's why it stayed under the county. So can that be revisited to see when, or that's going to perpetuity, that it'll always stay under the county, even though, because that was not the condition when we formed the city.
So the question is, are we able to go back to the agreement since we did not remove it from the county? Can it come back now to the city of Miami Gardens?
Right.
Okay, that's good.
Yes, we need to know, because, and the second part about that is that, you know, with regards to the police department, okay, if we center our police around what goes on in the state and that we have no benefit, they should be giving us dollars to assist the police so that we, you know, if something happen, an emergency happen, and they're dealing with a traffic situation on the roads that we control, then the residents could be harmed as a result of something happening. We don't have the police officers. Why should our costs go towards helping the Dolphins and our community suffering because of that? So there should be some compensation coming back when there are events happening at the stadium. What is coming back for the police department that has to do with as a result of? The third thing is that cut off of the residents on the west side of 27th Avenue. When, no, this is a fact.
No time. Thank you.
No, when they cut off their, those mom and pop on the west side of 27th Avenue, the businesses hurt because people don't have their access.
Watch out, watch.
Okay.
Take yourself.
Thank you so much. I have a couple things I want to share with everyone. First of all, you have been an amazing group. You all listened to one another, you shared, you gave really good questions. I'm committed to getting answers. I'm committed to sharing. I'm committed to doing what I'm supposed to do as your representative in the city. And so I'm going to do my part. So I'm going to ask once again for your part. If you did not vote, right? Yeah, that would be a good thing. I can't say that, but I think that a vote is a voice. Now, just because you raise your voice, sometimes you'll get heard and sometimes you won't, but it doesn't mean that you don't raise your voice. Sometimes you'll win and sometimes you'll lose, but it doesn't mean you don't enter the race. It doesn't mean you don't fight. It doesn't mean that you don't ask. Principle says, the scripture says, ask and you shall receive, knock and the door will be open. You must knock, you must knock, you must knock. We don't get to be tired. I know you get tired of trying, but you don't get tired, not when we have ancestors like what we have. When we can sit in a city, can sit in a community center, sit in a place where we can actually talk freely. We can't be tired. We can't be tired of disappointment. We can't be tired of sorrow. We cannot be tired that things don't go our way. We cannot. Our ancestors wouldn't allow it. So I can't allow it. So please vote. You have to vote. There's too much at stake. There's a lot at stake. Sales tax means that budgets are going to be cut. Take a look at what's going to be cut. Go take a look. Take a look, it's public. What is paid for by your taxes? Take a look at it. And then think about half of it gone. I was thinking about a paycheck when I was working. If my boss came up to me and said to me, hey, guess what? I know you make $100 a week, but things are rough. I'm going to give you 50. I know my head to turn around like Exorcist. So please find out, read the fine print, find out what do we stand to lose. Many people focus on what you can gain. All right, I won't have to pay $50,000. I won't have to pay, my $15,000 in taxes. But what do you lose?
Everything.
What do you lose?
Everything.
So pay attention to that. What's coming up? The 9th is a budget workshop. Please come. A lot of people want to know about money. Come and ask. Come and ask. Send in the letters. If you can't make it, send in the letter. Okay, budget workout. Answer this question. Every meeting, Mario gets asked by the mayor, Mario, do we have any correspondence? And 9 out of 10 times is a no. So send in the correspondence if you can't make it to the meeting. And it starts at 5:30. No, budget is on the 9th. The council meeting's on the 10th.
No, it's on the 9th.
Okay, so please, write those down.
In the meeting on the 9th?
The budget meeting's 5. 5 o'clock. So look at what's going to be, it's on the website, so go take a look at the budget, what's planning, get your questions together, email the questions in, then come in, stand before the mic, take your 2 minutes. But don't cry in 6 months and said, nobody told me what was going to be the budget and what we were losing. I can tell you right now, $9 million. If it passes. November 3rd. Part tax number 3 passes, 9 million. Yes, sir.
The workshop's actually
On the 8th. Dr. Sanker, thank you, sir. The 8th, okay? So, read, look, investigate, and then email, and send a bird if you need to, or send a friend if you can't make it. Okay? So that's really important. The next thing that's coming up is, on the fun side, we have Talk with the Doc, I said is going to be on the 4th, Tuesday, where we will talk code. We'll talk about those sidewalks, those people moving in and turning concrete in the front, which is, and what kind of coding issues are being violated and what to do. One thing I always tell my team when they come is take pictures and send them to me. If you don't feel brave enough, because you do have to, this comes from the state, that if you complain about something, you gotta be present for it. But you can always give it to the council person, and I can make the, give the information for you if you don't feel comfortable, you know, about something that's going on. Yes?
Yes. What time on the 8th will the meeting be?
The 8th, the meeting on the 8th, is it 5? 5:01, that's right, that's about when these meetings happen. I know, it has to be 5:01 by law. And the final thing, save the date, September 26th, breast cancer free mammograms. So if you have family members on the 26th, 24th, and what's on the 1st of October? Free mammograms. Where? Right at Betty T. So if you haven't had your mammogram or a family member hasn't had it, I'll be doing the free mammograms. And then we're gonna laugh it off. If you love comedy, October 17th. At Betty T, we're gonna have over 6 comedians coming, and we're gonna laugh it off to breast cancer and other cancers. And it's a team thing this year. I want families and friends to come in their team shirts. So whoever you support, get yourself some team shirt, because it's gonna be a team thing. And we're gonna laugh off cancer. So I'd love to see you there. Thank you, guys, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Okay. So there's quite a few people here tonight, and as you can hear.
All my volunteers, please have some drink and cookies.
All right. So it's gonna upload. Hello, how are you?
For that, because you were right on point. You took my thunder.
Listen, I got video. I got 6 weeks worth of video of that foolishness.
You get every point that's.
Oh, hold on. Let me stop.
And I said, she's great. She got it all.